The engineering floor at Meridian Aerospace smelled like cutting fluid and coffee. Marcus Torres had worked the CNC machines for 11 years. 11 years of perfect tolerances, zero defects, and shifts that ended when his daughter needed him. That Tuesday morning, he clocked in at 6, kissed the photo taped inside his locker, Lily, age 7, holding her stuffed elephant named Peanut, and walked into a meeting he didn't know was scheduled. 3 executives, 1 cardboard box. His supervisor wouldn't look at him. The CEO stood by the window, arms crossed, expensive heels reflecting the fluorescent lights. She didn't sit. Neither did Marcus. The words came fast: misappropriation of company materials, unauthorized use of equipment, immediate termination. 12 minutes. That's how long it took to end a career. Marcus held the box against his chest, said nothing, and left through the side door so the other machinists wouldn't see his face. He made it to his truck before his hands started shaking. Peanut sat in the passenger seat where Lily had left her that morning. The elephant's black button eyes caught the sun. Marcus drove home in silence, parked in the driveway, and sat there for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to tell a 7-year-old that everything was about to change. The wasting parts started 8 months earlier. Meridian manufactured precision components for satellite systems, tolerances measured in microns, reject rates below 0.2%. Every failed piece went into scrap bins, thousands of dollars of titanium alloy, carbon fiber, ceramic composites, expensive garbage. Marcus had watched it pile up for years, mountains of metal that missed spec by fractions most people couldn't see. One night, working late because Lily had a sleepover, he pulled a handful of rejects from the bin, held them under the light, measured them again. The parts weren't defective. They were perfect for something else, just not satellites. His mind started moving, connections forming, patterns emerging. He saw an assembly, a system, a solution to a problem the aerospace industry had been throwing money at for 15 years. He started small, took home a few pieces in his lunchbox, sketched designs at his kitchen table while Lily did homework. She'd sit across from him, Peanut propped against her milk glass, coloring pictures of rockets. "Daddy, can elephants go to space?" she'd ask. "If we build the right ship," he'd tell her. "If we build it right." 3 months in, he needed equipment. The CNC machines at Meridian sat idle from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Security walked the perimeter, not the floor. Marcus started coming in early, 4 a.m. shifts, alone with the machines, the scrap bins, and an idea that wouldn't let him sleep. He logged everything, documented every piece, used only materials already marked for disposal, nothing that would hit inventory, nothing that would cost the company $1. He told himself it was ethical, told himself he was saving waste, told himself right up until the morning they fired him. Lily took the news better than he expected, worse than he hoped. She sat on the couch, Peanut in her lap, nodding while he explained that Daddy's job had ended but everything would be okay. Her face stayed calm. Too calm? 7-year-olds shouldn't have that kind of control. "Does this mean we have to move?" she asked. "Not if I can help it." "Does this mean no birthday party?" Her 8th birthday, 6 weeks away. He'd promised her the trampoline place, 20 kids, pizza, cake, $200 he didn't have anymore. "We'll figure something out, baby." She squeezed Peanut tighter. "It's okay, Daddy." Peanut says parties aren't important. Marcus felt something crack in his chest. His daughter was comforting him, comforting herself, learning at 7 years old to make herself smaller so her father could breathe. He pulled her close, kissed the top of her head, and made a promise he had no idea how to keep. "I'm going to fix this." That night, after Lily fell asleep with Peanut tucked under her chin, Marcus went to the garage. The prototype sat under a tarp on his workbench. 8 months of scrap metal. 8 months of stolen hours. 8 months of the idea that had gotten him fired. He pulled the tarp off and stared at it. 374 components, 62 custom assemblies, 1 revolutionary propulsion system that could cut satellite deployment costs by 40%. He'd built it from garbage, from rejects, from pieces the aerospace industry had thrown away. It was the most beautiful thing he'd ever made, and it was absolutely worthless if he couldn't prove it worked. Money disappeared faster than Marcus expected. Severance covered 2 months. Unemployment covered groceries. Everything else started sliding. The mortgage, the car payment, Lily's after-school program. He canceled the birthday party, sold his motorcycle, stopped buying coffee, started buying day-old bread. Lily noticed. Kids always notice. She started asking for less, cheaper cereal, no new crayons. She'd hold Peanut and whisper things Marcus couldn't hear. One morning, he found her trying to fix her own shoes with duct tape. The sole had separated from the canvas. She'd wrapped it 6 times, silver tape binding the rubber to the fabric, her small fingers working carefully so it would hold. "Lily, baby, what are you doing?"
Fixing them?
"They're still good. Those shoes are falling apart." We'll get new ones.
These are fine, Daddy.
Peanut likes them. She smiled. That terrible brave smile children wear when they're trying to protect their parents from reality. Marcus knelt down, eye level with his daughter. You don't have to do this. You don't have to fix things or make do or pretend you're okay. But you're trying so hard. I want to help. She was 7 years old, and she was carrying weight that should never touch a child. Marcus took the shoes, threw them away, and drove to Target. Bought her new ones. Bright purple. Her favorite color. Cost $40 he didn't have. Didn't matter. Some things you pay for anyway. The prototype needed testing. Real testing. Not garage experiments. Not backyard calculations. Marcus needed a wind tunnel, vibration analysis, thermal stress data. Equipment he couldn't access. Labs he couldn't afford. He spent 3 weeks cold calling research facilities, universities, private contractors. 97 phone calls. 97 variations of no. Too experimental. Too risky. Too expensive. No credentials. No funding. No chance. He was a machinist with a box of scrap metal claiming he'd solved a 15-year aerospace problem. Nobody took him seriously. On week 4, he tried a different approach. Started documenting everything on video. Set up his phone in the garage, explained the theory, showed the components, demonstrated the mechanical principles. Uploaded the first video to YouTube at 2 in the morning. 14 views in 3 days, 13 were him checking if it posted correctly. The 14th changed everything. An email arrived Friday morning. Saw your propulsion design. Unconventional approach. Interested in data. Can you run thermal analysis? Signature Dr. Sarah Chen, MIT Aerospace Lab. Marcus read it 6 times. 7th time he called Lily into the kitchen. Baby, how do you feel about a road trip?
Where?
Boston. Why? Because someone wants to see what Daddy built. Lily hugged Peanut. Peanut says we should go. They drove 16 hours straight. Marcus and Lily and Peanut and a prototype wrapped in moving blankets in the truck bed. Stopped twice for gas, once for bathroom, once because Lily needed chicken nuggets or she'd get car sick. They rolled into Cambridge at 4 a.m., slept in the truck for 2 hours, then walked into the MIT Aerospace Lab at 7 sharp. Dr. Chen met them in the lobby. Late 40s, sharp eyes. Expensive watch. She looked at Marcus, looked at Lily, looked at Peanut. You brought your daughter to a technical demonstration? Couldn't afford childcare. She's quiet. Won't touch anything. Dr. Chen's expression didn't change. Conference room, 20 minutes. The presentation lasted 4 hours. Marcus unpacked every component, explained every principle, showed 8 months of documentation, calculations, proof of concept data. Dr. Chen asked questions that cut to bone, challenged assumptions, pushed equations, tested theory against reality. Lily sat in the corner coloring, Peanut watching from her lap. At noon, Dr. Chen called in 2 more researchers. They ran simulations, stress models, failure analysis. Marcus answered everything. At 3 p.m., Dr. Chen stopped talking and stared at the prototype for 2 full minutes. This shouldn't work, she finally said. But it does, Marcus replied. Theoretically. I need to test it. Properly. That's why I'm here. Dr. Chen looked at him differently. Not like a machinist, like an engineer. We'll need 3 weeks. Full thermal, structural, and aerodynamic analysis. You'll need to be present. I'll make it work. We can't pay you. I know. You drove 16 hours to give us 3 weeks for free. I drove 16 hours to prove I'm not crazy. Dr. Chen almost smiled. Stay in Cambridge. We start Monday. 3 weeks became 5. 5 became 7. Marcus and Lily lived in a extended stay motel that charged by the week. Lily transferred schools, temporary enrollment, her 3rd school in 3 years. She hated it. Made no friends. Ate lunch alone with Peanut every day. Marcus spent 14-hour days in the lab. Dr. Chen's team ran every test twice. The prototype held every stress test, every thermal cycle, every simulated deployment. The system worked. Not theoretically, actually. Marcus watched 7 PhD researchers come to the same conclusion. This machinist from Nevada had built something the aerospace industry needed, something they'd been trying to develop for 15 years, something worth millions. On week 6, Dr. Chen scheduled a demonstration for external observers. Didn't say who. Marcus arrived early, found the conference room packed. 11 people, university officials, research directors. One woman in the back corner wearing a black suit and shoes that cost more than Marcus made in a month. He recognized her instantly. The CEO, the one who fired him, Jennifer Hastings, Meridian Aerospace. She was watching him with an expression he couldn't read. Marcus set up the prototype. His hands didn't shake, not anymore. He'd done this presentation 40 times. He knew every word, every slide, every answer. He started talking. The room went silent. 20 minutes in, Jennifer Hastings stood up. Everyone turned. She walked forward, heels clicking on tile, stopped 3 feet from the table. Looked at the prototype. Looked at Marcus. Explain the material sourcing, she said. Scrap components, rejected parts from satellite manufacturing. Pieces that failed quality control but maintained structural integrity for alternative applications. Alternative applications? Yes. You built this from trash. I built this from materials you were throwing away. Jennifer's jaw tightened. We fired you for theft. You fired me for using materials already designated for disposal. I documented everything. Every piece. Every hour. Nothing taken. Nothing stolen. Just repurposed. You used our equipment. Off hours. When machines were idle. I logged every minute. You violated company policy. I solved a 15-year problem you couldn't crack with a $100 million R&D budget. The room stayed silent. Jennifer stared at him. Marcus stared back. Dr. Chen cleared her throat. Ms. Hastings, the technical data is comprehensive. The propulsion system reduces deployment costs by 41%, increases payload efficiency by 27%, and eliminates 3 failure points in current satellite architecture. MIT wants to publish. We also want to discuss licensing. Jennifer didn't look away from Marcus. Publishing requires patent rights. Who holds IP? I do, Marcus said. You built it with our materials. Materials you discarded. Legal precedent supports ownership of items created from abandoned property. You're not a lawyer. No, but I hired one. Consulted 3, actually. Pro bono. They all agreed. Jennifer's expression shifted. Something between anger and something else. Respect, maybe. Or recognition. She stepped closer. Not aggressive. Something different. She lowered herself. Actually crouched down, eye level with Marcus's daughter, who'd been sitting silent in the corner the entire time, holding Peanut. What's your name? Jennifer asked. Lily. That's a beautiful elephant. His name is Peanut. Does Peanut like science? Lily looked at her father. Marcus nodded. Lily looked back at Jennifer. Peanut says my daddy is the smartest person in the world. Jennifer stood, turned to Dr. Chen. I need to speak with Mr. Torres. Privately. They walked to an empty office. Jennifer closed the door. Marcus expected anger. Legal threats. More accusations. Jennifer sat down, gestured for him to sit. He stayed standing. I made a mistake, she said. Marcus blinked. I reviewed your file after we terminated you. Perfect performance record. 11 years. 0 safety violations. 0 disciplinary issues. Then suddenly, unauthorized equipment use. Material misappropriation. I signed the termination without reading the full report. Why are you telling me this? Because I missed something. My VP of Operations flagged your activity, sent me the initial brief. I skimmed it, saw unauthorized use, and approved termination. Standard protocol. I never looked deeper, never asked why you were doing it, never considered that an 11-year employee with a flawless record might have a legitimate reason. I violated policy. You did, and I had grounds to fire you, but I didn't have to. I could have asked questions, could have investigated properly, could have recognized that someone taking scrap home might be onto something valuable. I didn't. I saw a liability and eliminated it. That was lazy leadership. Marcus still didn't sit. What do you want? Jennifer pulled a folder from her bag, set it on the desk. Meridian Aerospace wants to license your propulsion system. Exclusive 20-year agreement. Will handle manufacturing, marketing, distribution. You retain IP rights. Royalty structure, 8% of gross revenue on all units sold. Upfront payment, $12 million? Marcus heard the number. Didn't process it, $12 million. A non-negotiable. You built something extraordinary. You did it with our garbage. That's humiliating for me and brilliant for you. We want it. We'll pay for it. Why would I work with the company that fired me? Because we have infrastructure you don't. Manufacturing capability, supply chains, government contracts. You can take this to another firm, spend 3 years negotiating, fight legal challenges, build from scratch. Or you can sign today and start production in 6 months. You think money fixes what you did? Jennifer met his eyes. No, money doesn't fix anything, but it gives your daughter new shoes. It gives you time to figure out what comes next. It gives you leverage to demand better. I'm offering you a contract, Torres. Not an apology. Not redemption. A contract. You decide if it's worth it. Marcus looked at the folder, looked at Jennifer, looked through the door at Lily, sitting in the conference room holding Peanut. His daughter, 7 years old, learning to make herself small, learning to fix her own shoes, learning that daddy works hard but things still break. He thought about the mortgage, the car, the birthday party he'd canceled, the weight she carried without complaint. He thought about the prototype. 8 months of stolen hours, 8 months of scrap metal. 8 months of building something from nothing because that's what you do when there's no other choice. He picked up the folder, Flipped through the contract. 37 pages. Licensing terms, revenue projections, legal protections. A number with 7 zeros. He looked at Jennifer. I want 1 addition. Full college scholarship for my daughter. Any school she gets into, all 4 years. Tuition, room, board. Jennifer didn't hesitate. Done. And her birthday party. The one I canceled. I want Meridian to sponsor it. Full event. Trampoline place. Pizza. Cake. 30 kids. Dora, non-negotiable. Jennifer stared at him. Then she smiled. Actually smiled. Fine, we'll sponsor the party. Marcus nodded. Then we have a deal. He didn't sign yet. Didn't shake hands. Just stood there, holding a contract worth $12 million, thinking about a stuffed elephant and a 7-year-old girl who learned too young that sometimes you have to fix your own shoes. Jennifer stood, extended her hand. We'll have legal finalized this week. You'll need representation. Already have a lawyer. Good. Because this is just the beginning, Torres. What comes next is harder. What comes next? Jennifer walked to the door. Stopped, looked back. Building something that lasts. The prototype proved the concept. Now you have to prove you can scale it, turn scrap metal into an industry standard, turn 8 months in a garage into a 20-year legacy. The money's easy. The work's what kills you. She opened the door. Lily was standing right there, peanut clutched tight, waiting. Jennifer looked down at her. Your daddy's very smart, Lily. Don't let anyone tell you different. Lily nodded. I already know. Jennifer walked past. The conference room emptied. Dr. Chen approached, handed Marcus a business card. When you're ready to move past licensing, call me. MIT wants you in the graduate program. Full ride. We'll make it work around your schedule. Marcus took the card. Didn't respond. Just watched her leave. The room went quiet. Marcus sat down next to his daughter. Put his arm around her. She leaned into him, peanuts squished between them. Daddy? Yeah, baby. Did you fix it? Marcus looked at the contract. Looked at his daughter. Thought about the question she was really asking. Did he fix the money? Did he fix the job? Did he fix the fear that lived in her eyes every time he said things would be okay, but she could hear the lie underneath? I don't know yet, he said, but I'm trying. Lily nodded. Squeezed Peanut. Peanut says trying is enough. Marcus kissed her head. Peanut's a smart elephant. They sat there for a long time. The contract on the table. The prototype in the corner. The future somewhere ahead. Not fixed. Not certain. Just possible. And for the first time in 8 months, possible felt like enough.